Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. And it is Saturday, which means it is Star Trek Day, and we're taking a bit of a break. Buddy, and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel. I can hear myself in triple time through Irate's mic and through myself, and that was cool.
I was gonna say, don't look at me. I got a nice quiet thing. I always wear a headset.
So we're taking a break from the Voyager episodes because
We wanted to torture ourselves.
yes, because the premiere of Picard dropped today, or not today, but on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And before we go any further, I'd like to welcome Undoomed to the panel. Hello, Undoomed.
Hey, how you doing?
Great.
Hey, buddy, long time no see.
Yeah, man. Are we live or what?
We are live.
Sure.
Yes, we just
All right.
went live.
Cool.
So, welcome Undoomed to the Star Trek stream, and we, as I was saying, we are taking a break from what we have been doing, which was our favorite episodes, and we are, since the premiere of Picard dropped, going to review it because we've just watched it in Irate's Discord. And holy Jesus Christ is how I'm going to start this off. Oh my God! First of all, Undoomed. Did you get a chance to watch it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I was surprised that they managed to piss on the fans just a couple of seconds into the episode by having Commander Data in a first contact uniform on the Enterprise D. Did anyone else catch that?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Really? See, this is where I miss out on being blind because I didn't catch that he was wearing a first contact uniform.
You
But
didn't hear me mention the costumes when he was back on Chateau Picard, whatever you want to call it.
the Chateau.
Seems to be-
Picard,
Yeah, it seems to be some major confusion there about the uniforms, and I understand that scene has a built-in defense because it's a dream sequence, but they chose to do that. They chose to have him in the wrong uniform on the wrong ship or whatever. Yeah, well, that's the way they started it off.
They did. They started it off with a dream sequence, and they also had the longest intro of an episode in any Star Trek series. What was that? 10 minutes before the credits rolled.
Something like that, yeah.
That was. I almost forgot that there was supposed to be an intro. I was.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember how long that was, but it was pretty long.
Yeah, it was. And then we move on from the dream sequence to the terribly written scene between Daj and her boyfriend. And when I say terribly written, I mean they've decided that in the 24th century everyone should speak like a millennial. Did you catch it? Dude, you got accepted to Daystrom? Like,
That's so cool.
that's so cool. It's like nobody talks like that. In the history of Star Trek, nobody talks like that. Ugh.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Kind of cringy. But I had a bigger problem with, when they're like, is she activating? And then they freeze for like 30 seconds and let her activate.
Right,
Yeah.
that was
Okay,
my complaint.
I noticed that. So what we're talking about is we discover that Daj she thinks she's human, but we discover later on that she's an android. That Bruce Maddox, who is, by the way, a big piece of shit if anyone has watched TNG, designed, because somehow he retained some part of Data's neural net somehow, even though Data never went to the Daystrom Institute for what Bruce Maddox asked him to do, which was be basically dismantled.
Right.
One of my favorite
Data
episodes,
never
actually.
did that. So
Well, they
how
don't care.
No, they don't.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm playing back again, irate.
Hey, y'all.
I'm playing back again and through your thing.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but we can also hear me.
Oh, shit. My bad.
It's all good. So what happened? So what I don't get is how did Commander Maddox get? Because later on, I'm kind of jumping around here, but
You kind of
does-
have to explain where this is all going.
Yeah. We get explained that it is possible to make these perfect androids, but they need a part of Data's neural net to do it because they can't recreate his neural net basically. Sung did too good of a job, I guess, is what they're trying to say. But how did they get that part of Data's neural net?
There's an even deeper question. What does it matter if they had one positronic neuron? It's like saying, well, I have this one transistor off a CPU. Now I can build a whole CPU. No, you don't know the plan for the CPU just because you have one transistor.
Right. Connections don't work that way.
No.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that scene out of Fifth Element where they had the one cell and recreated her and she's all good, has her memories. That's not how cellular structure works.
Yeah, it's crazy. But again, I don't think they care. They're just like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
People won't care.
They don't care about the technobabble, even though most of us have cared about the technobabble since technobabble existed.
Yeah, these are Star Trek fans, dude.
We're all dumb.
Yeah, and we're racist. We're all dumb and racist. That's
why she had to absolutely have a black boyfriend, by the way. You know that's why.
Yes.
Not that I minded. He was fine for the crap dialogue he was given.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't care about that. I was like, okay, fine.
I love that they ceremoniously killed him off right away, though. He's the first person to die in the show.
Well, that's a cliche, right? The black guy dies. It's a trope.
Pretty tropey, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else feel bad for Riker that the dog is named number one? Like, I kind of almost hope that they write in a scene where Riker finds out that Picard named his dog number one. It's like...
Deanna probably gets a kick out of it and just pokes like Riker all the time, like, he named the dog after you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reminds me of Indiana Jones. It's like you were named after the dog, but in reverse.
Right.
Cult of Krill asks, did they ever explain away his aeronautic syndrome? Yes, at the end of the TNG episode. Wasn't that a time thing? Didn't it turn out that he didn't have aeronautic syndrome because that was a whole time he was jumping through time and Q was fucking with everything?
Yeah, the whole thing the future is never set in stone. That's what kind of like Picard was pointing out to Q to begin with.
Yeah.
Who roundaboutly said, yeah, you're right. But yeah, I think that was just part of the whole experiment.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
What did you guys... Okay, the only good thing I have to say about this episode is the speech Picard gave during his interview with that bitch of a journalist.
She always plays the bad guy, the bad journalist,
does,
and
yeah.
douchebag. Oh, I feel so bad for her because she's not bad.
She just plays it well.
She just plays it bad.
She's like Walter Peck. He's always the bad guy.
Yeah.
That speech was good, though.
I have to say that it's better than Discovery, though. So
you know what?
that.
Yes. It is. I mean, it's not a very high bar, but it is better than Discovery. Like there are no Klingons with their dead as armor for their ships. You know, this is that drove me crazy.
Yeah, that was
Klingons carting their dead around with them. You know, like
right.
That's not a thing. So I really enjoyed the speech Picard gave, and it shows that at least they wrote that he sticks to his principles still. Like, he left Starfleet on principle, and that is something Picard would totally do.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely, like, at least they got that part right. I was worried that they were going to change his character completely.
He's a little more
I
cavalier.
They kind of did, but it's more about they've changed the tone completely. So now it's dark and depressing and all that stuff.
It's not
they
the
love
hopeful
that.
future that we were going for at the end of it all from the series.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that they're calling androids synthetics now, it almost sounds
It annoys me. It's like somebody played Mass Effect too much. It's like, oh, that's what we're going to call them now. That sounds sweet.
Well, and it's not just that.
It reminded me of Aliens.
Yeah.
A little
You
bit.
remember that?
Yeah.
Bishop, I don't want to be called synthetic.
Synthetic myself.
Yeah, well, something like that, or artificial
Synthetic
person, or whatever he said.
We
Yeah.
prefer the term artificial person.
There you go.
And what really bothers me is Picard already established their sentience, right?
In a court of law.
In a court of law.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say something like, the synthetics went rogue and attacked Mars.
Makes them sound like property.
Exactly. How can...
Well, the whole episode just reminded me of Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Well,
I went back and looked up the actual thing they say in the beginning of Battlestar Galactica. You know, that text scroll they have in the beginning, and it applies to Picard. Everything in there.
Well, actually, that scene with the Romulan warbirds flying into the cube and shit. I totally went there with the BSG. I'm a huge Battlestar freak myself.
Oh yeah, I love it. But the opening text goes like, the Cylons were created by man. They rebelled. They evolved. They look and feel human. Some are programmed to think they are human. There are many copies, and they have a plan. Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. And all of that applies to this shit.
Right.
Except they're synthetics, not Cylons. But
Might as well be.
Is she activated?
And and why is her? It's like instead of activating, it's like she has to charge up. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's the fight scene when she's with Picard and she says we're in danger, right? And she's trying to protect them from the Romulans, but it's like you can hear it. Like it's like she's trying to. She takes like 10-20 seconds to do anything. And they're just
I don't know.
Like the jump that Irate told us about, that told me about with the big, what did you say, 70 yards that she jumped?
I'd say, well, it wasn't quite 70 yards. I'd say it was 20 yards. But
it's like it took her like 10 seconds to get
it
ready
really
and
reminded.
prepare.
It really reminded me of Marvel when I saw that. Oh, okay, they're trying to make Star Wars Marvel now because she looked like a superhero just flying around.
Yeah.
Well, and those scenes were excellent, though. I really did dig the action stuff.
Well choreographed,
the clandestine, Talsiard, Black Squad, beaming in there and trying to, kidnap her and then spitting the poison on her. That was crazy, man. And that kind of was like Aliens, the whole. Go ahead.
Acid for blood?
Yeah, that's what I said.
And what was with that banshee scream from Dodge? Like
her face was melting and then the bomb was about to explode.
Yeah, but she's an android. Why is she screaming like that?
I was just thinking that.
It looked kind of like in Star Trek, what was it called? Nemesis, when they get that, what was it called? The Tetrion beam or something. Anyone remember that?
I vaguely remember the movie.
Yeah, the effect they made on the Romulan's face looked just like that.
Yeah.
I got it. And they kind of harken back to that movie too a couple of times.
Well, they
and
even
suppo-
mentioned Data's sacrifice of
Yeah,
himself.
Yeah. I did like those uniforms that Tal Shiar had, though.
Of course, we're all
Or
assuming
whatever.
they're Tal Shiar. They never come out and say it, but
I assume that. I mean,
I would say
Yeah.
I went
Tal
there.
Shiar.
And all
Yeah,
right, so
probably
and
something
that
like that.
it's a good
at
bet.
the end, so is that cube an occupied cube by rogue elements, or were those the 900 million that got rescued, or a part of that 900 million?
Yeah, because didn't a lot of them get killed off because that Reclamator ship was destroyed?
And
Yeah.
here's my other
Don't know.
thing.
It just seems like such a weird thing to, like, okay, so we're displaced. Where do we go and live?
Yeah.
A bored cube.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Romulans,
Oh.
especially for Romulans, let's go live on a Borg cube.
Oh,
That
come
makes-
on now! Some Ferengi probably fucking found an empty one and and dragged it off and harked it to somebody and they bought it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you
maybe.
believe that, I got a bored cube to sell you.
Yeah, got a board cube for you, man.
And does anyone else find the figure of the amount of Romulans kind of small?
Yeah.
Like 900 million in existence in total.
No, I
Yeah,
don't
that
think
was
that meant
weird.
the whole empire. I think that was the area of that was the Romulans that were going to be killed by that supernova.
Sure,
they
but that's
make it-
still pretty low for one planet.
Yeah, they make it seem like those were all the Romulans, like, and like on Doom just said, that's a small amount for a planet. Like the Vulcan, I know this is Kelvin timeline, but when Vulcan was blown up, right? There was 9 billion people on that planet.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh god, 9 billion Vulcans. Can you imagine how boring that is?
And then the Romulus only has 900 million people. What, are they all off conquering the rest of their empire?
I
Like,
mean, if I remember right, Romulus is supposed to be smaller, but it's not that much smaller.
no.
No,
Like
and the gravity
Earth.
looked pretty normal.
Yeah. Like, Earth has more people than that. Like, I find that number to be small.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was
Right.
like a colony or something.
But
See,
it,
they
Yeah.
didn't explain it, man.
no, they
I,
don't.
I don't think they made it clear, did they?
No.
I don't think they wanted to make it clear.
Right.
No, I guess it's a mystery box. We're dealing with Jar Jar here. so-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't need to know. It's not important information at all.
No.
It's
And-
Abrams' magic mystery box.
And does anyone feel like the twin, like, so from the trailer it looks like Daj isn't actually dead? I get, like, I don't know, like, because,
I'm pretty sure she's gone, but I mean, they replicated one neuron, so what do we know?
yeah. And then there's a twin wandering around somewhere.
Getting high in bed with somebody from a secret government.
Yeah, like, how come she doesn't have the same activation thing that...
And why are they treating her
Dodge
so
did?
nicely and stuff? It's like, okay, well, what is it? Is she a freak or is she not a freak? Come on.
Yeah,
No,
what's
but
her
they don't
backstory?
know. That's the whole point of
That's the
a Cylon,
tease.
right?
Yeah, exactly, man, exactly. The ones that don't know that they are like,
Yeah, they don't know.
Asian
They
chick,
just think she's a regular human because they bleed and everything.
remember she was.
I don't know,
Well,
that
shit.
dude was pretty creepy. I think he knows something.
Yeah, Harry Tread was a great actor. He was on Penny Dreadful and played Dr. Frankenstein. That's a fantastic series, man. You talk about good shit. I know we're off topic there, but another irate left turn. Sorry.
All right, then.
Right. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Oh God. Okay.
I didn't realize that he was in Penny Dreadful.
Hmm.
No, but that guy, like, it totally seemed like he knew that she was the other twin, because the way he was talking to her, it's like, I'm a creepy bastard, and I'm gonna fuck you up the minute I get a chance. It's like,
Well, and then and the little ad for like coming up, this season.
Yeah.
It even depicts them like playing a game, and they're under the sheets, and he's like got this look on his face and shit. Kind of tropey, actually. Kind of leading us to believe that he's got ulterior motives or evil motives towards
I'm not sure I like them broadcasting what the whole series is going to be like. It's like we didn't need that in the other series.
Right.
It's just to show us the show, and there it was.
A lot of spoilers in there.
Yeah, but all right, so the supernova is supposed to be climate change, okay? So the Romulans are supposed to be Mexicans or illegal aliens, and the robots are, of course, rebellious slaves.
of
So,
course.
yeah, so the evil white patriarchy must be taken down. And
Right, and Maddox is supposed to be Trump, right?
yeah,
That's what I heard. And they modeled him on Trump, apparently.
Well, they didn't have to. He was already a jerk.
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
they
but that's
didn't
that.
have to-
But that wasn't Maddox, was it?
Maddox.
Right.
Well, from TNG, he was already given this character. Like, that was who Picard went up against in A Measure of a Man to
Right.
determine
But now
his
now
sentient-
now they're the writers say they're modeling him on Trump for this series.
Which makes no sense to me, because he, like I said, like that's what I was trying to say, was that he's already got a character, like a personality of being kind of sleazy, and like, Picard had to fight to get Data not to be dismantled, and because of Maddox.
Right.
Like, they had a basis to write Maddox as a bad guy if they wanted him to be.
And I can see him being indignantly a bad guy. I mean, he was told, no, you can't have what you want. And he thinks, no, I know better. We need this information. We're always under threat, yada, yada. I can see him going rogue.
They could have written it as, instead of, because Data being the innocent that he was, like, he was transmitting all of his research to Maddox. And they could have written Maddox as, instead of being a grateful benefactor of that information, being like, ha ha ha, now I'm going to use it to prove everybody wrong. Like, they could have written Maddox as a bad guy without going, let's make this about Trump. Like,
right.
There was
No
character there to develop.
Right. I don't know. It's just weird to me when it's shit in here, because it's supposed to be about the future, and I'm sick and tired of hearing of Trump.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
no shit, dude. I feel that.
Yeah.
Evil Dead Ed sends over a $3 Streamlabs donation to say Ferengi equals space Jew.
Leave my space shoes alone.
Equals free real estate. Ed is not nice.
The Frankie comment, that's not the first time I've heard that.
No, it's not either for me.
Right.
Them's my homies. Don't be making fun of my Ferengi peoples.
And somebody in chat says, how can Maddox be like Trump? He is a powerless commander of robotics research. Ah, but Orange Man bad, so therefore, potato.
Yeah, I guess we don't know what they've planned. I'm sure they'll come up with some convoluted reason.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Potato.
Yeah.
Like,
And the whole group of people that he gathered, that looks like he's going to gather together to go on this goofy quest thing. See, I don't know, man. It's really, what pisses me off about this is that you can see the money that they have put into this.
I was going to mention that I'm not actually a fan of the cinematography that they're using.
I think it's fine, man. I think this movie-esque, this movie approach, making it look cinematic is working. It's working really well in my opinion. Okay,
Yeah.
But to see it, I can see the story is just getting all.
I mean, if this is going to be a short-lived
I
series,
don't-
I got no problem.
I don't know. I got no problem with the cinematography either. It's just lay off the lens flares. That's all I ask.
Oh, please.
No, Abrams.
Basically,
Oh, it's Abrams. So
yeah.
What do you
Gotta have
expect?
that lens flare. That's right.
But other than
It's
that, it
him
was
winking
fine.
at you.
I like the old way a little bit better, but then again, I'm a purist, so I'm always going to complain about that.
Wikipedia snippet.
Yeah,
in
I mean
chat.
that's fine. It's fine. I guess the Orville is more like that.
I
Yeah.
still need to watch
It's got-
the Orville.
It's actually decent despite it all.
Have y'all
Oh,
heard
yeah.
the
I
rumor
like
that McFarlane is opting to buy
Yeah.
the property?
I mean, he might be a
Yeah,
pompous
yeah.
ass, but he's got it right here.
Hey, man.
If
I'll
he,
start
Well,
believing in the
the-
higher power if that shit happens. Because I've been praying for it.
Well,
That-
people who are in the know says that there's no chance in hell of that happening. But
I don't think
it's
he
an
can
interesting
afford it.
thought.
Yeah, it is.
No, but he's been talking to NBC and stuff like that. But I don't think they're going to sell it at any price.
Yeah. So Wikipedia snippet says, if a Ferengi gives himself too many umoks, will he end up with hairy ears?
Wow.
No, that's a myth.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Umogs.
Yeah, Dectran says Patrick Stewart was railing against Trump and Brexit. Yeah, I want to know how they're going to work Brexit into this.
I don't.
Isn't
wanna
that
hear
just?
anything about it.
Isn't that going to be like old news when that shit comes up in the series? Because that's happening like in a couple of days, right?
Yeah,
the 30th or
31st, I believe. 31st of
31st.
January.
First,
Yeah. So
it's
I
kind of
don't
around
know.
to tackling it.
Yeah, I don't understand why they need to, or how they're going to, like, unless they're going to, rip the Federation apart. I don't, like, are the robots going to be this rogue thing of either going to try and start a new Federation and break off from Starfleet or something?
Yeah, I have
Like,
no
I'm-
idea. Obviously, they're going to bring the Borg in there. We saw that. So
Well, yeah, that's where I'm trying to figure out where the Borg fit in. Where does Seven of
They're the
Nine fit in?
NPCs, man.
well, yeah. I mean, they're
I'm
going to
kidding.
show up and like, what the fuck are you done in my house, asshole?
Yeah. That would be interesting because that's their property and they're going to want to claim that shit.
Yeah,
They'll assimilate that shit.
I'm not sure they're going to be happy about that. So Romulans might be in for a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're gonna try and shove in some Remans, because they keep mentioning Nemesis a lot. So I'm really wondering if they're going to show up, if the Remans are gonna show up at all.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because
a
I
side
honestly
character or
thought
something.
that the people with Picard, yeah, like I thought the people in his house were Remans, honestly, for a while.
No, I mean that's what I liked about it, that they didn't overdo the makeup on those guys.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
they could have gone all.
See, I had a
dis-
hard time.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I was just glad that they didn't go all Discovery on it and made some new Klingon, thing with the Romulans and made them look awful.
Oh, yeah, no shit. But seeing a bald Romulan, that kind of, I don't know, that kind of put me off a little bit. It just didn't look right. The beards fucked me up, man.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they have hair loss just the same as we do. So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if I'm just honestly wondering if we are going to have like some retcons or something from, because that's what it really feels. It feels like they're trying to retcon a whole bunch of stuff.
well, they don't even have to because this is in the Calvin timeline. So who cares? They don't care.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want because it's not even in TNG space.
Is it not?
No, it's done under the alternate license, and that explains why Picard. I mean, why Data, because everything has to be different. So that explains why Data is now 25% fatter.
I said something to that effect.
You all are all going to get old. I'm telling you this right now. So, just saying.
Yeah. No, but I mean, seriously, it's made under that license, so they can do whatever they want. They've already stated that they will integrate it into Discovery at some point.
I don't even know how that would work because Discovery is
Not even, yeah. I have no idea. I mean, aren't they 1,000 years in the future now or something?
well, it's supposed to be 20 years after Nemesis. Picard is, and Discovery
Right,
is
but
supposed
Discovery-
to be 10 years before Kirk.
No, but it jumped like 1,000 years in the last episode.
Oh, Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I don't know.
kidding?
Maybe we never saw that they arrived though, so maybe everything goes wrong and they end up
Did you-
in Picard's timeline.
I never watched all of season 2.
Oh well, that's what happens.
Yeah.
900 years, says M. They
Yeah,
want 900
I don't
years.
remember exactly. I wasn't paying close attention.
Well, you've watched far more Discovery than I have, that's for sure.
But
Well, I don't like criticizing stuff unless I've seen it. So
Well, that's why
I feel you.
that's why I did what that's why I was like I wanted to watch this, because I felt like I couldn't criticize what I didn't know.
Right.
right.
So that's kind of why I wanted to do the to rip this apart a bit, because I have to say though, I really liked the music.
yeah,
Yeah, that was good.
The
I liked
music.
that they had they paid some license fees and got to use the real melody sometimes.
Yeah.
So that was
and they
good.
got to use, yeah, and the orchestration, at the Borg shot, the cube shot, that was outstanding. Good stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. It's they actually took both of that stuff from First Contact, huh? They start out off with a dream, and that pull out in a Borg cube is actually the dream in the.
I didn't know that.
It's
so
it
this
was
is
fine.
hold
I
on
didn't
now.
mind.
All right, so if this is the Kelvin universe, how do we know any of this shit that happens? Oh my God. Oh,
it changes
Jesus.
a whole lot of stuff.
Oh no, man. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you can't be sure what happened in TNG ever happened at all.
Exactly, and that's the way they like it. Because now they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Exactly, you're right, man. So they can wokeify that shit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they want. So I mean, it's perfect for them. It's not gonna do them any favors with Trekkies, but what do they care?
Don't care about
They just want to.
Trekkies.
No,
They seriously don't.
they just want to sell CBS All Access.
Yeah. They can't sell it. Not with this shit.
It wasn't good enough for all that.
I mean, CBS,
I don't.
man.
I don't know how are they doing CBS. Are they? Is it working? I haven't looked up any figures or anything.
Well, if they a lot of their shows that drew people, like Criminal Minds, for example, is in its last season.
Did 15 years.
And I'm surprised they lasted as long as they did after basically getting rid of the main cast, except for 2 people.
Right.
So I don't know. I really don't know how CBS is doing. I would say I would guess that they're probably not doing very well.
It must be hard for them to compete with Netflix and shit that has worldwide presence.
Well, and there's also the news component that's taking a huge hit because it's garbage, and nobody's watching it.
Yeah.
Right.
Evil Dead Ed sends another $3 over to say, just bring back 7 of 9 in a string bikini.
You probably won't get that, but you'll definitely get 7 of 9. We've seen that.
Dual wielding
Yes.
rifles.
Yep.
Oh God.
She's gonna matrix the shit out of this.
I didn't like the weapons. They sounded very Star Wars-y to me.
I prefer my phasers. Bring back phasers and disruptors.
Star Trek weapons shouldn't go pshoo, pshoo, pshoo. Like they just
Not since Enterprise.
no
Pew pew pew.
pew pew. Yeah,
I guess we haven't seen any Federation weapons, though, right?
No,
not
not yet.
yet.
I mean,
So
that's
I
fair,
guess-
but
Because Klingons and all those guys, they always had like funky weapons.
Yes, that's true. Romulans did have
It would be weird if they didn't have phasers in Starfleet after just a couple of years.
right.
Yeah. Like, especially, well, oh no, wait, it's the wrong universe. I was going to say, especially after Voyager gets home and introduces, hey, look, we figured out how to put nanoprobes and shit into phaser and Borg technology into phasers. And here, these work really well. You should replicate some. Like,
Right. Well,
half
I mean,
the shit Voyager discovered.
there's no reason that couldn't have happened in the Calvin timeline. It's just they're not obliged to do it. Or
Exactly.
they could do anything. They could say that almost that happened, but it was different. Or they could just ignore it.
They'll use what they feel is
Captain
usable.
Chakotay.
Oh God.
Captain Plank.
He would be the worst captain ever. Like, he can't even sound commanding when he's trying to. Like,
No,
the one-
no,
the
he's
one-
just
and the one
he just
time
has this
he gets-
this aura of always being the good guy, even when he's
Yeah.
trying to play the bad guy.
like, and even when he's the one time where he tries to be badass and you want to do things the Maquis way, he's out of breath after one punch to the crewman. He's like, you want the Maquis way? It's like,
Right.
Jesus Christ, dude. You didn't just run a marathon. What the fuck? So, yeah, I was just overall, I have to say, I wasn't as disappointed as I thought I would be
Right.
Hmm.
with Picard, but I really felt shat upon as a fan.
Yeah.
It needed to
Yeah,
do
there's just-
better.
It was better than Discovery, like I said, and Discovery. The only reason I watch that is to be able to keep up. Sometimes I watch it just to know what I'm talking about, but
Yeah.
there's no enjoyment in that.
No.
I basically
was-
just put it on and have it on one monitor while I'm working on the other ones.
Yeah.
Right. There was so much promise with Discovery, even with the story, right? That whole mirror universe aspect of it. They could have done so much with that stuff, and
they have the same problem as Star Wars, don't they? They have no plan. They just
Right.
keep shifting. They're just reacting to the public.
right
Incorrectly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, incorrectly.
Oh my god. Ed, I can't read that one.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I'll read whatever.
Okay, I'll try. Klingons are like Africans.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
They try, but space Ebola and famine are too much for him. Call me Ed the racist.
Wow.
Thank you for the donation, Ed.
Space Ebola.
Good lord.
Did they have space Ebola? I don't remember that.
Well, I guess what was it? The Talarian plague or the Torellian plague? That could be like space Ebola.
And then there's the phage.
The phage.
Don't forget
Yep.
the phage.
But the
Well, that
Klingons
never
are
happened.
immune
To,
the
that never
phage.
happened to the
No,
Klingons.
No, not to the Klingons.
Well,
But it was certainly looked like the worst sickness ever.
yeah. How did a species survive for 2 millennia having to deal with the phage? Because the Vidians said in the first Vidian episode,
2
they were like,
millennia.
we've had this for 2 millennia. Jesus Christ, guys, just either be better scientists
Just
or
give the
give
fuck
up.
up. Just give the
You
fuck
know?
up, man.
Time
You know,
to
it-
off yourself.
Yeah,
It's
either cure it
stinkified.
already or just die. You know, like. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
nature does not want your genes around. Just face it.
Yeah.
Yeah, coronavirus. Nice one, Chad. Dectran's hot with the sick burns today.
Yep.
Jamming, like it. This is fun. I'm having fun right now.
Yeah. It's,
The
I don't know. Star Trek wanted to help with the wedding. Oh, thanks, dude. Thanks.
there's
man.
a part of me that really wants this to be good, you know, because the Next Generation was such for lack of a better phrase, close friend, entertainment wise, familiarity. So it's almost like they're fucking with me,
Yeah.
Part of me wants to take it personal, and part of me hopes that, like, okay, maybe they can just dip out of it and they can do it in there's a classy way to do what they want to do, man.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to send a message, right, a good writer understands that whoever's reading his work is intelligent, and they can figure this shit out for themselves.
Yeah. Well, that's what's
Yeah.
so frustrating about this is that Trek did that
Exactly.
for years.
Oh, yeah. And they certainly were successful in convincing a lot of people. But this shit is not convincing anyone.
No. No.
So you need to as a writer, you need to make sure that the viewer thinks it's his idea at the end to, adopt that idea that they wanted to push.
Yeah. It's you cannot shove things down people's throats. And then when they get upset about it, call them a bunch of names and call them and say that they're racists and all this crap. It's like, no, you've taken a franchise that did exactly what you want to do incredibly well, and you've just decided, well, screw that successful formula. let's do this instead. And then when people get upset about it, instead of going, oh, well, maybe we should go back to the successful formula, they go, fuck you, you racist, homophobic, unprogressive
Yeah.
people. It's like,
The sad part is that there are so many dark, depressing sci-fi series. There was just one that was positive.
yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't we have one?
Yeah. It's not a lot to ask for.
No, it's not.
It would seem.
Yeah, there's someone in chat. M says Star Trek was pretty much about social justice before it was a thing. Yes, it
Yeah,
absolutely
sure.
it was.
And that's what I was alluding. They managed to change people's minds back then because they had some finesse.
Yeah.
What's the Frank Gorshin episode? The classic. You know, obviously this is about racism. And, you know, and the way that they did it, it was so well done. You know, but they didn't come out and say anything specific. You know.
No, they didn't. And they didn't go. This is about racism. Did you know that? You know,
Right.
like it, because of course it was about race. Like it's the same with the episode of Next Gen Outcast. That was clearly about LGBTQ issues.
Yeah.
But they didn't need to say it.
I'm glad they didn't, because
No.
Undoom's right. The subtlety is important to get a message across where you want to change minds, don't blatantly like hit him over the head with a shovel.
Yeah.
Right.
And Riker's gender fluid.
Well, he
I
has
don't know if I
gender
can say that one.
Yeah. Hey,
He has
man,
gender
got tons of
that's the
gender
episode
fluids.
that BP was just talking about. You
Yeah.
know,
That's so good.
he gets a little gender fluid there. Just dips his foot in.
I mean, as long as there's gender's fluids, he's there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
Ed says Ed sends another $3 to say last one or Bullfrog will murder me. But are you ready for the gay sex scene with Picard before he starts his transition?
Yeah.
Ed's,
well.
Ed's been on a fucking roll, man.
He has, yeah.
I mean, for the past month.
Gonna change his
Have
name
you-
to Sean Luke.
Have you read the leaks?
No.
Oh boy.
Oh boy! Well, it turns out
This-
that the doctor, the scientist, the robot scientist, whatever her name was,
Agnes or whatever.
Alison
yeah,
Pill.
I'm very pleased to inform you that she was actually born a man. So,
What?
there's
What?
that.
Oh.
Is that real?
Well, it's a leak, so take it with a grain of
Yeah.
salt. But all the other leaks have been true. So
Right, that's what I mean. God damn it.
Yeah, of course.
Unnecessary.
well, they got to do their thing, right?
They do not have to do their thing. Screw them. Bring it back over.
Well, they are going to do their thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's those I'm almost scared.
I think we're in Schrodinger's universe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think the box is set.
Ranting Monkey said, "Did you just say a robot doctor used to have a penis?" No, Ranting Monkey. The doctor is not a robot. She was a doctor of robotics.
Yes.
It's a robot doctor. Come on.
Which gets into shitting on Asimov territory, you know?
Yeah, I don't remember what her title was, but some sort of. I think it was she was a doctor, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to be. I mean, you're at Daystrom.
Definitely.
Right.
No, she's a doctorate level researcher, yeah. Expert in her field.
Oh, did you notice that they had a Bespin Cloud City over Okinawa?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
We have an otter. Hello, Polly.
Well, Polly,
Better late than never.
nice to have you join us.
Yeah, well, hello. Right,
We have
I still haven't watched it.
two deep-voiced individuals now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a competition.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Hold up.
Polly.
Hold up. Can you hear Polydub?
Yes.
I can't hear anything.
You can't hear me at all?
Oh, fuck.
Let me refresh my window, see if that helps.
All right. I'll keep an eye on the. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as as I thought it would be, but it's not great.
No.
I don't.
Can you hear Polly now?
Polly?
Can you hear me now?
Undone?
Now we can't hear him. Jesus.
Oh,
Oh, shit. He's going through the same exact shit I did.
You
Fuck
guys broke him.
StreamYards, man.
Did I just break the stream? God damn.
No, you're fine. No, you're good.
No,
It's StreamYards.
it's StreamYards.
You probably could hear all of us.
Yeah, Undoomed, I don't know what's going on here. He left again. He should be back in a minute.
God damn it.
Costin says, I can hear Polydub, but he sounds sick.
Yeah, something like that. I have.
We call it hangover.
Or a hangover, or an I just got out of bed.
Yeah, my uncle used to call it being bottle sick. But
This is being bottles. You dipsomaniac. All right.
Is that any better, Undoomed?
Yeah,
There we
I think
go.
I can hear everyone.
And we can hear you. That's good.
Polly?
yep,
Good.
I can hear everyone across the board. Everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice.
Good.
Yay.
Cool.
Polly broke blind stream, says
I
Prospero.
did no such thing. That's just. I already feel
No,
bad.
I had to do the same thing when Undoomed popped in.
Yeah.
You know, so I was talking to Jack, who I do Bad Comic Reviews with, or comic book curation with. He's from Bad Comic Reviews. Anyway, we came up with this idea for Star Trek. We're like, Picard, just like Star Trek Pinko, it's not going to work. And Discovery is what it is. I could not make it past 7 episodes. I just gave up out of lack of interest, honestly. It wasn't even hatred. It's just like, oh, fuck this, you know?
Right. It's boring.
Yeah, it just wasn't going anywhere. So in my headcanon, Star Trek ended with Star Trek Enterprise. Everything else after that was expensive corporate fanfic.
Agreed.
Right.
What to do now? It's the era of streaming, and so Jack and I was like, what could possibly work? Imagine we were in charge. What about the idea of what they do with True Detective, an anthology series? That it's a series of short story arcs, 3 to 6 episode stories, shorts. Streaming services work with that kind of budget. Could revisit those the little aliens from TNG that crawled inside people's mouths and took over, like the brain bugs that took over people.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
Right.
That episode ended on not a cliffhanger exactly, but it ended in such a way where the mother creature was inside Remick and was sending a homing signal that we're here. This civilization is ripe to be taken over. Come on in. They just never did anything with that. They left it as kind of like haunting ending. Why?
I guess that probably because of the special effects of the time, it felt a little bit cheesy. You know,
it did. There was even stop motion claymation at one part, and
yeah, it wasn't good. But today they would have been able to make a nice thing out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Cytherians.
But well, when I originally, God, what was the guy's name that had done Hannibal? He was supposed to be the project leader. He did American Gods first season too.
Okay.
And you're right. And he was supposed to do Discovery, and it was supposed to be an anthology type thing, right? It would be a different story every year. And then he magically got booted from that and American Gods. I think CBS owns Stars. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck.
M says like short treks are set up for that already. Yeah, and look what they did with it. Like they need to fire this regular
Kurtzman.
rotating crew of 12 Hollywood writers. David Lindelof is in there. Brett Ratner is always in the mix. Like
Yeah.
this, I'm sure these people are talented in some kind of way for something, but I mean, not for this. Like, haven't you noticed executives how there's this lackluster response? You even bring back Patrick Stewart and it turns into a lackluster response of all things. Captain Jean-Luc Picard himself, and people are like, meh.
Right. Did you see that London thing they did?
No.
London, no.
They had like a big unveiling of the episode, and they had rented a place for 500 people, and only 100 showed up.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Oh no!
Ouch.
Oh Jesus!
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
You know when you get angry and you start talking above your station in life, I'm like, what I said to Jack was, give me the money. Let me be the showrunner. Because at this point, I'm arrogant enough to believe, because you're so bad, that I could actually pull this off. Like, let me be in the writing room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it's like the politics has to precede everything, right? And it's frustrating. Nobody wants that shit anymore. I mean, we're burned the fuck out. I don't know. It pisses me off.
Well, especially with a show that conveyed political messages and social messages so well before. It's just such a slap in the face. If they didn't have a history of being good at it, it wouldn't matter so much.
This is me kind of like talking about something I don't know. I haven't written for television. I don't know, but we were talking about that episode from the end of season 1 of TNG, Conspiracy, with the brain bugs, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I love episodes like that because it's like, man, did writers earn their money? They deserved a bonus for that, because it's one of those episodes that feels like
Creativity.
it's 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Because there's so much story that happens in the 43-minute Sans commercials, right? Think about it. It goes from there's something wrong at Starfleet. Weird orders are coming in. Data examine it and find out what's going on. Key personnel are being moved around. They fly back to Starfleet Command. Something is wrong. Oh my God, there's these bug aliens. They've taken over everything. Even the old admiral's one of them. Oh my God, they've got Riker. Look, there's the mother being. They've killed it. Like that. Jesus, that could have been like a 6-part story arc in today's world.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it felt longer, and I honestly thought it was a 2-parter until you mentioned it was only the one.
Well,
Right?
and they set it up in a previous episode, Coming of Age. They set it up because Admiral Quinn shows up on board and is like, Jean-Luc, something's wrong. I need you back. I want you to teach at Starfleet.
Yeah.
That's a setup. Like, and
Do you remember the red pill reason that Quinn gives Picard to excuse what he said earlier? He's like,
What?
you said there was something wrong in Starfleet and it was threatening the very foundation of the Federation. He goes, Jean-Luc, I was just talking about the integration of other cultures. It threatens everything that we have. I'm like, oh shit, Quinn's red pilled.
yeah, are you just openly admitting to being a racist there, Admiral Quinn?
I mean, of course, I'm reading backwards into it, but hey, come on, you gotta. There's no new material to work with. We got to reinterpret the old stuff at this point. That's
Yeah.
Right. But according to those people who've seen up to episode 3 of Picard, apparently they don't even fly off anywhere until the end of episode 3. So that kind of defines how they stretch things out in today's sort of serialized storytelling.
Well, he's got to put the troop together to go on the quest.
yeah.
Yeah, that usually takes 15 minutes in a movie
Yeah.
to get the band together.
Well, yeah.
See, I'm wondering how many seasons they intend to get out of this.
This is like
I
a
saw
10-hour movie.
I saw that they were already renewed for season 2.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously expected a season 2, but how many more can you go? That's the question.
I was reading about that renewal, and there's a lot more. sometimes things get greenlit and then canceled, and then sometimes things are renewed and then they're not. Like Discovery was renewed until Netflix pulled out of their part of the deal with Discovery, etc. I'm not surprised, as a matter of reality, just get it going, pre-production and stuff, that they would do something like that. But moreover, as a matter of promotion, we have this much faith in this thing. Doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be a season 2, but I think there will be. But it's not from any great sign of confidence. It's just sort of realities of promotion and funding that, you know.
Well,
right. But there probably will be. I mean, the main thing that worries me about the series is that Patrick Stewart could die at any moment. What is he, like 80 years old?
Yeah.
74, isn't he?
79.
79.
79, yeah. That is right up. That is above the average age of male humans.
Oh,
well, you know, that's it's right in there with the average age of Democratic candidates right now. So, wait a minute, we're not supposed to be bringing politics, and that's what we're.
He's there every Saturday, people.
Evil Dead Ed with another $3. Picard gazes into the eyes of number 2 and says, "This is natural. This is love. Diversity is strength, and I identify as a woman. Trump is evil, Brexit is evil, and I hate the white man." And then slides into number 2 screaming, "I hate white man."
wow.
And put the bottle down.
Step away from the booze.
There, you know what I would like to see some. I don't know why I keep going back to this. Maybe it's just my personal taste, but if you think of it from DS9, In the Pale Moonlight Legend, right? And you think about stuff like, again, from DS9, oh crap, Blind, you'll know. You're the oracle of this stuff. The 2-part episode, they go back to Earth. There's one changeling loose on Earth.
Paradise Lost.
Paradise Lost, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That kind of notion of political thriller, political intrigue thriller in space. It's you can kind of do them as bottle episodes or elevator episodes where it's all happening. I would love to see a 3 or 5-part story arc in an anthology series where it all takes place on a ship. You don't need giant space battles with photon torpedoes and quantum torpedoes and shields and such. It's more like, what would kick it off would be, I don't know, a junior lieutenant receives a encoded, encrypted communique, and it starts off this wave of paranoia. What did this person get? And it turns out that, you know, you need to take command if something happens. It's along the lines of the Pegasus, where different people have different orders and the paranoia starts spreading, and it's like, this guy's on this side and the potential of a mutiny and so forth. Like, do you understand what I mean? It would be like a John Grisham paranoia thing in space, and I would watch that as a Star Trek fan in a hot second.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it always used to be galactic threat, because they always talked about that with premiere.
Well, you remember in the old days.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say, remember in the old days when studio execs were going like, you know, that special effect, do you really need that? Is that, can we cut that, please? You know, keep the budget down. Nowadays, the execs are going, can you add some more effects, please?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
We need to blow shit up if we're going to get an audience. Yeah. Explosions is what people like. I mean, both positions are clueless, but I think that this thing of adding effects just for the sake of having effects is getting annoying.
Yeah.
Here's a good example. You have David Warner, Patrick Stewart facing off against each other in Chain of Command.
Oh my God.
Okay.
So good.
Beyond a bottle episode, it all happens in one fucking room that's poorly lit. Yeah. It's about the dialogue, the script, and the monster actors involved.
Fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah.
And everyone remembers it. It's that, like, I'm saying, go in that direction. You know, that's
right.
That's.
Did you guys? Any of you guys watch Babylon 5?
Long time ago.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, because there's like an episode kind of like that in Babylon 5 that is also excellent, where he gets captured. The captain gets captured and tortured, and interrogated. Also, an excellent interrogation episode.
I try and think of like high drama that has no space battles in it, but it's still very, very, very Star Trek. Like, First Duty from TNG. What's the big secret? The Culvered maneuver the Culvered starburst that they caused one cadet's death. They were trying to cover it up, et cetera, and then it's revealed. It has Wesley in it, so it's a little at times because he's not.
Yes, but it also has Tom Paris in it.
It has Proto Paris.
Yeah.
Proto Paris.
Proto Paris, yes.
You get an insight into the Academy. Who doesn't love seeing the place where they all came from? You get Boovby, and how awesome was he?
Yeah,
you know, the groundskeeper. Gee,
groundskeeper.
We're getting a different territory there.
Binoculars, man.
I want to see what the cadets are up to in the showers.
That's right.
You know
Well,
what?
you know that wasn't
Sorority row.
A secret favorite episode of mine I have a soft spot for is actually Voyager. I need to consult the Oracle again. Okay, they find species A472 has created a fake training ground
In the flesh.
Thank you. I love that
It's
because
5'4".
She's like a fucking computer, man.
like I
That's
said,
ridiculous.
she's our own personal Oracle.
She may be
trainer.
part cybernetic unit.
I'm a synthetic,
trust her.
watch out.
Oh God.
Indeed.
Who doesn't like seeing an insight into the Academy and the different bars that they go to and different stuff like that? I mean, but if you gave them a chance, like the current people who are in charge, we want something that's at Starfleet Academy, whatever. You know what it'd be? It'd be a CW show with love triangles amongst cadets.
The Starfleet Academy Glee Club.
You know, and they would probably have choreographed song and dance numbers, and it would oh Lord.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Beautiful brown people making love to each other. Miscegenating.
Like, is it that my tastes are incredibly outlying? Like, I don't get it. Like, I believe that they focus group test these things and they think that they work and they get a certain amount of social media impact. Therefore, they believe that this is right. Like, are they in a thought bubble or am I?
Well, here's my question. All right, it's like the past 6, 7, 10, maybe 10 years. I don't know. They just started having this close-on sex where people I don't understand it.
They're just quite literally dry humping each other.
Exactly, and it's like okay. I'm inside boob.
I don't know. I don't think it's about that you're in a bubble. I think it's just if you take a show like Game of Thrones before they fucked it up, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody loved it. There wasn't any fucking storms on Twitter hating on it because they had good writing. That's all it takes. Tits doesn't hurt, but it was about the good writing.
Yeah.
That's right. Absolutely.
You know who I would have hired.
That's all they need.
Well, you know who I would have hired right away? The underrated Trek writers, Judith and Garfield Reeves Stevens, the husband and wife team. They co-wrote William Shatner's Shatnerverse novels with him.
Oh, okay.
They've written a crap ton of really interesting, involved Trek stuff. They're both Trek nerds themselves. One of my favorite episodes that they wrote exclusively was The Observer Effect from season 4 of Enterprise, where the Organians come back. They revisit that idea, the Organians from the original series.
Yeah.
Hire some people who actually know what they're doing, who have written a lot of novels. That when you were talking about Game of Thrones and good writing, it's like, these people are actually novel writers by trade and have extended over to screenplays and teleplays.
Right.
As opposed to, so we need a male lead and we need a diverse captain, and then we need your checklist is all fucked up. No. What are the story beats? Where's it going? What's the conclusion? What arcs are you telling? People that are
you can't just assemble a team like that just for the checklist. You have to have a story.
Yeah.
Then the characters flow naturally from it.
Like nobody cared that Cisco was black.
Not at all.
Right? Like
No, he's still my favorite captain.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like when they wrote DS9, they didn't go, okay, we need a black captain. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right. Yeah. They actually put out a casting call for just some guy, and he showed up, and a bunch of other guys showed up, and he was the best one, so they gave it to Avery Brooks.
Yeah.
I remember an interview with Avery Brooks where he's like, he said, I'd watched Star Trek and I thought it was fun. I just didn't know if science fiction sort of was for me. And I thought, how interesting could this character be? He said, well, who is this character?
Yeah.
And these are Avery Brooks' words. He goes, oh, he's a career military officer who's raising his son alone because his wife died because of his job. Oh, this is interesting. Right. And nowhere in there did he say, I get to play black man who's black and black. Like it was what attracted to him is single father raising a son. He's kind of vaguely responsible for the mother's death because of his career that he's continuing on in. And as an actor, he's like, oh, there's drama in this. Yes, I want this role. It's almost like somebody wrote a good character for him or something.
It's kind of messianic. Well, no, seriously.
That's a good
In a
point.
good way.
But there's even a panel question where they said, how did it feel to play the first black captain in Starfleet? And he's like, how do you play a black how do you do that?
Did he actually say that?
Yeah. He goes, what do you mean play a black captain? Cisco just gets up and goes to work and
he puts on a suit and goes to work.
He's like, what kind of question is that? You know, it was awesome. It was great.
Right.
And then you've got today's Star Trek where it's like, okay, we must have a gay person and a black person and a trans person.
Yeah, but it's not a problem that they have that. It's just that's the first thing they go to, and they set up the quotas. There's never been any problem in Star Trek having all sorts of diverse people.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that wasn't the main part of their character. Like, yeah, I'm black, and then that's your character. Like, what? That's not a character.
No. Like Geordie LaForge. How many times was it really mentioned that he was blind? Not very many. They didn't focus on the blind engineer. Right. Mm-hmm. He was just Geordie who happened to
it was relevant when it was relevant when it was relevant.
Yeah. But it wasn't every episode, wow, Geordie, you sure do a good job for a blind man. You know, like
and I think a critical sort of reality is that it's like you guys were just saying, is like you don't set a character up around that. But that is exactly what they did with Discovery, because the thing that they announced and the thing that the actress who was in the scene said in the very first scene of Discovery, they passed the Bechdel test. Oh, go to hell. Go to hell.
Yeah.
You wrote it on purpose to look like that. Man, y'all are fucked.
Yeah.
This is the setup scene isn't to set a mood or a tone or anything like that. It's to pass a current day faux analysis of what you should be doing. Like
it's a purity test.
Yeah.
Right.
And nobody really. Do you want the idea of LGBTQ identity to not be an identity? The future in the Star Trek fictional universe is supposed to be just accepting we've gotten past these things. That is Roddenberry's vision, that there's a greater world out there so no one fights amongst themselves. That would mean acceptance, not focus on.
Yeah.
So when somebody was gay, they would simply go back to their quarters and their same-sex partner would be there, and that would be the end of it. It wouldn't be a big dun-dun-dun reveal. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It would just be standard operating procedure. No one would raise an eyebrow, because why would they? I don't raise an eyebrow that there's several Asian and black people where I work, because, well, that would be weird if I did. That would make me some kind of SJW cheering on the fact I'm proud that this happens. Like, why would you be proud for something that's perfectly normal?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think that's the flaw and the error. When you go to Cisco's quarters, you see African art hanging on his wall. he's very proud of his heritage. This is who his character is. It doesn't happen in the first scene where he says, I'm a very proud man of African descent and I'm glad to represent my culture in Starfleet. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, like it's reflected in the art in his quarters. It's reflected in the food that he likes to cook. It's reflected in the music he likes to sing and listen to. Like, that's good writing.
Even in the episode, and I think it's extremely telling where they're Oracle. It's in the 7th season of DS9 where they Vic Fontaine's
yes,
holodeck is taken over by gangsters, and
Yes.
they have to save Vic. It's an entirely in holosuite episode.
it's a break from the storyline of the war.
Yeah, and there's that great scene where Cisco doesn't want to be involved. I've never it's like, wait a minute, you've never been to Vic's. Cassidy Yates says, why is it? He goes, I just don't want to talk about it. And eventually comes up because it's a fantasy of a time in 1941 where black people couldn't go into hotels. I'm not willing to go play. And they have an argument out over it. And she lays the responsibility on him.
Yeah.
She doesn't apologize for it. And he ends up going, yeah, you're right. It's not about pretending the past. It's the way that it should have been. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's like, and that was it.
Yeah.
Hey, applause all around. Well done, because they didn't make some huge hand-wringing guilty moment out of it.
Right. Yeah,
I
they
hate to
just
see that done now, guys. Holy shit.
they made such a huge deal out of it. Jesus.
That whole scene lasted 3 minutes. Yo.
Well,
Yeah,
my
it would
friends,
not have been pretty.
I think we've ripped Picard to death. I'm sad, but I'm not. I'm glad that it's not Discovery, but I'm sad that it's so bad.
So you're going to concur with the aforementioned 2.5?
I would say so. I would say it's probably a 2.5 out of 5.
I'm going to be a little more generous. I'm going to give it the 3, but like I said, it needed a 3.5 or better to pass for me.
Yeah. I don't think I will continue to watch. Like, I'm glad I watched the premiere so I know the tone that they've set.
See, but I have to know the rest of the fucking story now.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I may end up borrowing my mother's login info for the streaming service that has it up here. And just
Right. It's a pretty short one, right? Is it 8 episodes or something?
like
Did they release them all in one shot?
No. They're once a week, I think.
Actually, that is a good question. It's an 8 episode season. Is that right?
I think so, right?
Okay.
Somebody's put it out a good point. They said Lal was Data's daughter, not Daj. I'm not even calling Daj Data's daughter.
As far as we know, that's not technically what we determined to call it was Data was a sperm
Data's
donor.
a sperm, a neuron donor, shall we say? He's not.
Yeah.
Lal, I still say Lal was his only daughter,
Yeah.
and she had a neural net failure. So, like, these are Bruce Maddox's kids, and for them to say that this is Data's offspring just because his neural net was used, no.
Yeah, that plot point just doesn't work.
No.
The whole, let's take one neuron and reconstruct the whole brain. Yeah, fuck you. That doesn't work.
And where did he get it? Like, did he get it from the head that got left behind in Time's Arrow? Or did he get it from, was he hiding nearby when the fucking ship exploded that Data was on? And he, ransacked the debris field? Like, how the fuck did he get this one neuron to make two fucking android twins?
It doesn't even matter because it's useless, even if you got one neuron.
It's 10 episodes.
10 episodes. Okay.
I mean,
So it's not a long one.
No, that's usual fare nowadays. I would say. I like how
guess.
the Brits even chop that down to about 6.
Right. Well,
Cut
I mean,
it
that'd
off.
be fine if we didn't have to wait a year.
Yeah.
And I just thought about something. Social media has changed things for good or bad. There's kind of like a democratization of opinion, but then again, you also get kind of like the hate brigades of the angry 4% of Twitter pushing for certain things.
Yeah.
It also allows, excuse me, and out of sorts for producers. It's when the newest Charlie's Angels came out. It flopped horribly, and the response was, "Oh well, it was the misogynist alt-right trolls online that ruined it."
Yeah.
There's a sort of built-in excuse where, excuse me, I'm sorry, the toxic fandom is responsible for destroying this thing. Like Star Trek Picard isn't successful. It's like the toxic
No,
fandom.
your bad writing is responsible, you assholes.
Well, you're right, and it's like back in the quote good old
and
days.
fucking
before-
Kristen Stewart. I don't even know who the other two bitches are, but that girl cannot act her way out of a paper bag.
Nope.
I mean, for God's sakes.
But there's a built-in way of explaining it now, right? It was
Yeah.
what happened on Rotten Tomatoes. Oh well, that was just hate trolls bombing
Yes.
Rotten
Yes.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, well, that excuse ain't gonna fly for long.
I'd like
still
to
a
think. Well,
business.
it doesn't now because they took over Rotten Tomatoes and have all of these artificial inflations and deflations of the things that they want, right? So in the good old days, if a show failed, it would be like, yes, because your show fucking sucked. There was no way to explain it away, but there was no way to know generally what the public was thinking. Now it's good because of the internet. People can find out generally what the public's thinking, but now there's also a baked-in excuse to explain why something failed.
Yeah.
Goddamn trolls.
Yeah.
Sure, but I mean, it is a business, so the executives they're not going to buy this excuse forever. They're gonna at some point they're gonna be like, okay, fucking tone this shit down, all right?
They might not be buying it forever, but they've certainly been buying it for a while to greenlight every woke project because that's what the millennials want, or whatever pitch they're using.
It's been flying for a while, but it's not going to fly forever.
No, it's not.
I like your optimism.
Well, that's all I have.
That's all I got to go on, man. I'd like to think you're right.
That's why I wanted Star Trek to be positive.
Well, okay. I hope, like from Wall Street, Gordon Gekko is right. Greed is good. It's clarifying. It cuts to the heart of the matter. Yes, be greedy. You want money, executives. Stop doing this stuff because
Exactly. I miss the good old days when companies were just money grubbing.
But remember, then again, that's what also leads to no stories and nothing but explosions because that's easily to transfer across cultures. So appeals to will work in China, right?
Yeah.
Reality television.
Yeah, there's extremes in both ends, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird that Picard. I found it strange that Picard doesn't even mention Lal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that would probably violate their license.
Oh, that's
Good call. I mean, I know their licenses. I've been struggling watching Midnight's Edge to sort of follow the details behind the scenes, the recombined license and the, 1/3 difference to meet their new license. But
25%.
25%, okay.
Yeah.
But now that has kind of gone away, and I've kind of lost the plot on that they can go back to it.
Well, now they're still under Bad Robot, so they're still using that license to produce it.
Okay.
So this isn't produced by CBS themselves. So CBS could certainly start up a new production company and do whatever the fuck they want, but this is still Bad Robot, so it's Jar Jar in charge.
Oh God.
Has anyone here, because I got here late, has anyone made the joke that the new United States Space Force is the beginning of Starfleet Academy?
No, but I think it's awesome.
And apparently Trek fans are enraged.
I'm not. I think it's awesome.
I've not seen one enraged Trek fan anywhere.
Yeah.
The angry 4% don't count.
I don't know. The Air Force Space Command has used that logo since the early '80s. So, like, okay, I'm not really that outraged.
Right, and that's exactly what it is. It's under the auspices of the Air Force, right? Like the Marines
Right.
are under the Navy, right? So
Exactly.
a lot of people were confused about that shit.
You know who I did see that was angry? George Takei.
Of course
Shocker.
he was.
Yeah, that's a big
Oh
shocker.
my!
Yeah, and it's like you non-producing. The best thing that ever happened to you was to get casted in that show. And
Now, all right, I will defend him on this. All right, the Terror season 2, which could have gone a full ass like floor it broke shit, right? Didn't do it. Every opportunity, and it takes place in an internment camp and all this shit, right?
Yeah.
But the story stands up, and Takei did a great job in it. So, I don't know. Anyway, I recommend that too.
When did that come out?
It's on AMC. It came out like 3 months ago. It's 10 episodes.
Oh, it's a new one. Okay, I haven't seen anything about it.
Oh, the first one was fantastic, man. About they're trying to find the northern corridor to the Pacific. These two British ships, both icebreakers, and one's called the Terror. And I can't remember the other one, but you were talking about it, BP. I think the other day. I can't remember the name of the ship. The Endeavor, maybe.
Maybe.
Anyway, they get stuck up there. This is a true story, and they found empty ships, and then miles away they found scattered bodies that had attacked each other, cannibalized each other, and shit. Yeah, it's crazy. But the series, the way they tell that story is incredible. Kieran Hines and Jared. Oh God, the British bad dude, Jared. I can't think of his last name. God, I hate it when I lose my brain like that.
Well, I'll have
Jared
to look
Harris.
that series up.
Yeah. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, the Terror, yeah, AMC.
That's cool.
Well, my friends, I am getting super duper hungry. So, I think we will end here. I'd like to thank chat for watching, and I'd like to thank everyone for joining me on the panel, and thank you, Undoomed, for stopping by. It was good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Dax and Polly, do you guys want to get together and come up with your choices? Polly was supposed to get 2, and Dax was supposed to get 1 for next week.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sure.
Good. Yeah, why not?
All right,
and we're still on Voyager, right?
Yeah. This was we
Okay,
were just
cool.
taking a break from Voyager because Picard
Sure.
premiered this week. And then I think the week after will be Skep Talk's turn. Hammer unfortunately is out of commission for a bit. He's not sure when he'll be able to join us again. So
Oh, I see why you're hungry. Because Pincalo's in chat saying the ribs are done.
yeah,
Ding, ribs are done.
the ribs
Yeah, I get
are
hungry
done.
real quick too.
Yeah.
That's
And be sure to come by tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern for the Blind and the Special, and of course the coffee stream on Monday. Does anybody have anything to shill before we end?
I will, Cheryl. Tomorrow I'll be speaking with Laura Lee on the ice cream interview, 5 p.m. Eastern, and of course that's 2 p.m. Pacific, and figure out people in the middle. She's terrified, and she's British, and she's going to be fun.
Oh,
And we're going to have a good time, yeah. And then the week after that, Dax,
Oh,
yes, will be stepping in. What are you laughing on, dude, man?
I don't know. I just heard the weird sigh there.
and let's
I'm not
see.
weird or British.
Polly, have you started comic book curation up again, or?
Yep.
Okay, and that's what
So
day?
there is the. By the way, Pincalo, screw you. He's got Angus braised beef ribs. Oh man,
Oh,
I just.
I had a
Yeah.
ham sandwich. I thought I was on cloud nine. You like totally trashed my dreams.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
his uncle gave us last year. His uncle's a beef farmer, so he gave us all
Oh,
of
wow.
last year's stock.
They're from like a small herd
Yeah.
too. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
a
You got a
small
great dinner.
local
Okay.
grass-fed herd.
Look,
And-
you need to share, or I'm gonna have something happen to you.
But the link to my channel's up there,
All right.
where Jack Inquisitor and I do comic book curation Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, where we talk about all the good stuff that's going on inside of comic books, and yeah, unfortunately, all the bad stuff too, with the push towards lame comics and all the other stuff. But we always keep it positive with pitches of stuff that we like and try and interest each other in new stuff that we're reading. And then also Noir Bar, our late night chill stream. Jack and I did one just last night. I may or may not have been progressively drunk as the show progressed. So yeah, check it out. Good times.
Sounds good. And Undoomed,
Right.
do you have anything coming up?
Well, just subscribe to my channel. Just search for Undoomed on YouTube or Twitter or whatever, and you'll see.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed yourselves and have a good rest of your Saturday evening. I'm going to go eat. have,
So rude.
All right.
have a great,
Bon appetit.
great night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Latest, everyone.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Bye, y'all. Peace.